Hello and welcome to the next in my series of videos on learning the fundamentals of C#. Today we're going to be looking at string handling. A string can be thought of as a series of character values stored in an array. For example, the following would print out the character S. So for example, I can define my string and then say I want to take one character by taking my string square brackets 3, and that will actually take the fourth character from the string, because remember, computers start counting at 0. So in this case, we have 0, 1, 2, 3. So S is the third character here. The string type has many built-in functions that allow you to perform many manipulations on a string that resemble the manipulations allowed by arrays or even lists with the advanced features. The following code returns the length of a text string. So this is one that you'll use a lot. Int length equals myString.length, and that will give you how many characters are in the string. We can use the .length property with a for loop to iterate through each character in a string. So here in the for loop, we are going to go through each single character in the string and print out each character individually, and we can do that easily using the .length feature. You can also use for each to automatically iterate through a string. For each character in my string, console.writeLine character, does the same thing as the previous example. To take a section of text from a larger text, we need to use the .substring function. So here, the following text will extract the word example from the larger string. So we have the string, this is an example of the string data type. And if I say myString.substring 11, 7, it will extract example from that text. So the first number here tells it which position to start cutting, and the second number is how many characters to take. So in this example, E is position 11. Remember, the spaces are included. And then it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. So it will extract example from the larger text. There are many other string functions. This is just a quick example list here. Please research them in more detail, but some of them can be very useful to you in your coding. Here's some methods that are useful for validating input. So if we take one character from a string, we can use char or char, however we want to pronounce that for character. Char.isNumber will return true if it's a number, false if it's not. Char.isLetter or digit will return true if it's a letter or a digit, but not if it's another type of symbol. Char.isPunctuation will return true if it's punctuation. And char.isWhiteSpace will return true if it's just empty white space. So for your validating, that can be really useful. Okay guys, so we've got some activities here, very simple, logical thinking, just kind of exam style questions. Have a look at each of these and then I'll go through the answers one at a time. The first is to write a program that prints out the length of the phrase computer science is awesome and will cut out and display the word science using substring. The second one is to write a program that computes your initials from your full name and displays them separated by full stops. So, for example, my name is Stephen Perry, so it would come up as S.P. And then write a program that will reverse whatever text the user types in. Have a go at all those, and when you're ready, I will take you through the solutions. All finished? Great. Let's have a look at those solutions. So this is nice and easy. Use the .length function, use .substring, and then print them out. Nothing too difficult there. So for the second one, let's have a look at that. So I'm going to start my initials just by grabbing that very first character. I'm always going to have to take the first character, so that is position 0, take one character, add a dot. Don't need to do that in the loop because we're always going to take the first one. Then I'm going to loop through every single character in the string. If I find that character is an empty space, add the next character and then add a dot. Print it out at the end. There you go, that's all your initials. And then the third one, I need to do it in reverse. So I'm going to start at the end. I've got the -1 there because remember, computers start counting at 0, so I need a -1 there. Otherwise, I'm going to be 1 beyond the boundaries of my array of characters. So -1 will give me the last position. Keep going until I get to 0 characters or greater than -1, and take away 1 each time as I count backwards. Then add each character to my reversed word variable, and that will give you the characters in reverse. We also sometimes need to worry about ASCII values. So remember, all the keys represented on your keyboard all have a numeric value assigned to them. These are what we call the ASCII values, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So for example, capital A is 65, lowercase a is 97. Sometimes you need to be worried about what the ASCII values are for some sort of manipulations, especially for higher level questions in an exam. Obviously, if you can use all the full functions available to you built into, say, C#, you maybe don't have to do that very often. But again, sometimes you need to do things the old school way. So to convert from a character to an ASCII value, we can use int to take a single character and convert it to an ASCII value. Note that when we do comparisons, we don't actually have to convert the character to an integer. C# knows to do that automatically. But in the examples that follow, I will still do it explicitly just to show you what's happening behind the scenes. If you have an ASCII value, an integer, and you want to convert that back to the original character, you can use the char feature. Just put that in brackets before the value, and it'll convert it over. So if we look at this example here, we have a character that's a capital A, and we have the ASCII value that is 65. If we want to convert the character A to a ASCII value, we can just use int. If we want to convert the value 65 to the letter, we can just use char. If I want to check that the value that is stored in character is actually a capital A, if it's got the ASCII value 65, I can convert that to an int. Note that here the int is grayed out. And that's because it can do that comparison automatically. I'm just doing it there to show you what's happening in the background. If I want to convert to uppercase to lowercase, I can just take that character, add 32 to it, and then make sure I convert it back to a character by using the char function. And the reason I can do that is because if you go back to that original ASCII table earlier in this video, you can see that the difference from upper to lowercase is 32. So adding 32 converts it one way, subtracting 32 converts it back again. Okay. Oh, big loud horn there. I think you heard that in the background. Activity 2. Write a program that takes in a string and converts the string, removing all spaces and punctuation, therefore only allowing the characters between A to Z or capital A to Z. So try not to use any of the built-in functions, just use those ASCII values and convert this old school. And activity 2, again doing this old school programming using the ASCII conversion methods. Write a program to take in a string and convert the uppercase to lowercase and the lowercase to uppercase. When you've done that, I will show you the solutions right now. So the first one here, just enter the text, loop through the length of the character, have a look at each character, each letter. If it's between 64 and 91, we know that it's uppercase. We can add that to the new phrase. If it's between 96 and 123, we know it's lowercase. We can add that in. It will ignore any other symbols or punctuation or anything like that. And then we'll just have A to Z, capital and lowercase. The second one, again, loop through the word. Check the values. Is it A to Z? If it is uppercase, add 32 to convert it to lowercase. If it's lowercase, subtract 32 to convert it to uppercase. And if it's any other symbol or character, we can just add that in at the bottom there for the final else, and then we have that conversion done nice and easily. So that was a very brief rundown of string functions. Hopefully you found that useful. Do a bit more research online for some of those really cool inbuilt functions that are offered. But I'll see you in a few weeks. Enjoy your C# programming.